Welcome back to Explaining Everything, the channel where we dive into the stories and mysteries behind everyday things. Today's question comes from one of our curious viewers, Leafy Gryan, 2003. Thanks for the suggestion, Leafy Gryan. You asked, how was life without toilet paper? It's hard to imagine a world without those soft little squares we take for granted. But for most of human history, toilet paper didn't exist. People still had, well, the same bathroom problem we do today. So how did they handle it? Grab your seat, hopefully not too firmly, as we explore the surprisingly creative, occasionally horrifying history of wiping, right here on Explaining Everything. Before humans invented anything fancy, nature was the original supplier of bathroom tools. Leaves, grass, moss, even corn cobs, yes, corn cobs, were used for the job. Imagine being a farmer in the 1700s, walking through a cornfield and thinking, I know what I can do with this leftover cob. That's innovation, but also, yikes. In places with snow, people literally used snowballs. Cold? Yes. Effective? Also, yes. In some parts of the world, smooth stones and seashells were popular. Though, let's be honest, seashells sound less like a hygiene solution and more like a medieval torture device. The rule of thumb? If it was lying around and didn't cause immediate medical emergencies, it was fair game. Civilization eventually leveled up, and so did wiping habits. The Greeks and Romans had some particularly interesting solutions. Greeks used pieces of broken pottery called pessoi. Yep, literally scraping with shards of clay. It was less of a clean and more of a sandpaper exfoliation. The Romans, meanwhile, were slightly more civilized. In public bathrooms, they used a sponge on a stick known as a tersorium. Picture a communal loofah dipped in salt water or vinegar and shared by everyone. That's right, public restrooms had a single sponge stick for the whole squad. Hey Marcus, pass me the wipe stick when you're done. If you thought modern public bathrooms were gross, ancient Rome would have had you running for the exit. In China, around the 6th century, people began using paper, not toilet paper as we know it, but coarse sheets that were considered a luxury. By the 14th century, records show that the Chinese emperor's court was producing toilet paper by the thousands of sheets. That's when things started to look a little more familiar. Fast forward to medieval Europe, where toilet paper still wasn't a thing. Castles didn't have charmin, but they did have hay, straw, and if you were rich, maybe some wool scraps or cloth. Poorer folks, they made do with whatever was around. Leaves, moss, or let's be real, sometimes nothing at all. In coastal regions, mussel shells and even coconut husks were used. Honestly, if your choice is pine cone or coconut husk, you're not having a good day. And then there's the French nobility. They prided themselves on using lace or fine fabric because nothing says royalty like ruining a piece of embroidery every time nature calls. Guests in castles often used whatever rags were available. Servants were probably very busy with laundry duty, and not the fun kind. Across the world, cultures had their own takes. In parts of the Middle East, people preferred water for cleaning, still common today, which, let's face it, is probably the smartest and most hygienic method compared to broken pottery or corn cobs. So, when did toilet paper as we know it finally arrive? In the 19th century, Western countries started producing paper products specifically for bathroom use. Joseph Gaiety is credited with introducing the first packaged toilet paper in the US in 1857. His version came in flat sheets, medicated with aloe, and marketed as a health product. Imagine being the first salesperson trying to convince people, hey, want to buy some paper just to throw it away after one use? But the real game changer came in 1890 when the Scott Paper Company began selling toilet paper on rolls. That roll format? Revolutionary, convenient, easy to use, and it spared people from getting too creative with nature's supplies. Even then, it wasn't instantly popular. Early toilet paper was rough, sometimes splintery. Yes, splinters. For a while, people still preferred catalogs, newspapers, and even Sears Roebuck magazines. That's right, old shopping catalogs doubled as bathroom reading and bathroom wiping. A true 2-for-1 deal. It wasn't until the mid-20th century, with the invention of softer, quilted versions, that toilet paper became the household essential we know today. And now? We debate over 2-ply versus 3-ply, and whether the roll goes over or under. Luxury problems compared to corn cobs and pottery shards. Humans have used everything from moss to snowballs, seashells to communal sponges, before finally settling on the humble roll. Next time you're in the bathroom, staring at that soft, perforated miracle, just remember, it took thousands of years of trial, error, and more than a few bad ideas to get there. Toilet paper isn't just paper, it's the cushioned, sanitary triumph of civilization. And if anyone ever asks you how people lived without it, you can smile and say, well, let's just say corn cobs were involved. If this made you appreciate toilet papers more than ever, maybe leave a like, subscribe, and maybe try a bidet next time. It's a game changer. Also, if you have suggestions for our next video, feel free to share them in the comments below. We'll be sure to give you an acknowledgement for your contribution. Thank you for tuning in, and join us next time here in the channel that answers all the why, what, who, where, and how questions you've always wondered about, here on Explaining Everything.